All right. I think we're going. All right. We are live.
Hello.
Maybe we should wait a second to see if people show up before we start in.
98 subscribers.
We're almost there. We're getting there.
Building it slowly. Building a strong base.
Strong base of dedicated viewers. All right. Episode, hold on, I moved my stuff around, so.
Oh, man.
Sorry, that's gonna make people seasick. All right, episode 17. We're back.
Better than ever.
Better than ever. School's out. We're getting ready for next week's extravaganza. That's what we've been busy doing. So, yeah, lots coming up.
Yeah, just a reminder that next Wednesday and Thursday, was it 36 hours?
I don't know. It's a
We're doing
long
a very
time.
long live stream. All to benefit the program that we teach within, which is the ATech program at University of Texas at Dallas, where we teach animation. It's all to benefit our students, trying to raise, was it $10,000 to fund an opportunity fund to help go for, giving students experiences, bringing guest speakers, equipment, kind of fun stuff down the road, scholarships, things like that.
Yeah. So, we can talk just a tiny bit about it. You need, in order for an endowment, depends on the type of endowment, but depending on the type of endowment, this one needs $10,000 to actually become real, and then it's there forever, right? And we want to use those funds, obviously, for a lot of the events that we put on for students. For instance, if any of you out there have ever done the Animation Blitz, it's a 48-hour animation competition that we do here, kind of a lock-in type event. We give a piece of artwork, like a character, a real basic character, plus a lot of other things, little scenarios, or what would you call them, Todd?
Yeah, it's kind of like we kind of took a Mad Libs approach the last couple times, where we gave them little kind of things that may happen, and they had to select a few of them, then they put them together, and they have to make an event or something that happens. So it's kind of like putting the character in a situation.
Yeah, and then we let them go, right? And so they've got 48 hours to do that. Sorry, I think I scrolled over you, made your image disappear. So those are the types of events that that fund will benefit. So anyways, come on out next Wednesday and Thursday and join in. There's going to be, so we're going from 10 a.m. on Wednesday the 26th all the way to midnight, and then we're not going overnight. We're too old for that. Even midnight is a little bit too late. Certainly for me.
It may just be a live stream of us sleeping.
Yeah, we might nod off after about 9:30. So about 2.5 hours of just watching us sleep. So we're going through till midnight, and then picking it up the next day, 8 a.m. all the way through till about 7 p.m. when it ends. I think it ends technically at like 6:49. So here's what we do have. So we've got a lot of alumni who are out working and doing their craft. So people from Pixar, people from Disney,
DreamWorks,
Sony, definitely Sony. Oh yeah, DreamWorks TV. Yeah, I was like, wait, DreamWorks. What else? I don't know. I got to look back at the list, but we've got a lot. I mean, we've got, I think probably around 12 alumni who are going to be on the show. Or on the stream, and then we've got other just professionals, industry professionals who are our friends.
And there's a wide range too. What is it, like story animators?
Yeah.
What else do we have on here? Lighters.
Yeah, so we definitely have lighting, animation, animators, storyboard artists, look dev, rigging. What else?
Project management.
Yes, project management, or they're in production.
Right.
And then other stuff that we've got a guy coming in from Imagineering. So he was my old animation supervisor at Rhythm and Hues, and now he works at Imagineering, working on some of the rides, but also like the animation that goes along with the rides, which I think will be really cool to talk about and see, because I don't really have any experience, obviously, with any of that. And just seeing how the process works for that, I think it'll be really cool. Voice acting. So we've got that. So an old friend coming on. He's a lot of fun. So those are the things that we've got. So there will be things for students. There will be hopefully things for alumni. There will hopefully we'll also be having some high school students who are watching. There'll be things for them because we'll talk a little bit about the program as well, and what we're doing.
Tour.
Doing a building tour late at night right now.
ATEC After Hours.
Yes, it is ATEC After Dark. We will be walking around on the stream, showing you things. I don't think anybody will have seen where we are now, our animation suite. Pretty much just Todd and I work there now. But you can get a behind-the-scenes tour if you're interested in that. Yeah. So those are the things we've got going on. There will be some other games and things happening as well during those times. So should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But that's what we're working on, from now until for the next week solid. Just trying to get that schedule and get everything set up, and so we hope.
Come join, man. Right? If people join and they're talking to us on the chat, we can do whatever too as we're going through, and you can have questions for people.
I would hope.
It could be super interactive. And even if it's just Sean and I sitting around doing stuff, we can answer questions and show demonstrations on whatever it is.
Yeah, I would hope that people would hop on and join in and ask questions. Certainly of all our guests. That's part of the fun. They're not just there to hear us talk and talk with them. They want to hear what you have to say and your questions and what interests you as well. So all of that is super important. So yeah, come on by, have fun. Maybe donate some money, maybe not. It's up to you.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, definitely. We want as many people as we can getting in there and watching and subscribing, definitely. That would be great. You want to give a little money? That's great too, but no pressure. At the very least, come and watch, ask some questions, see what we're up to.
And the entire thing will be recorded, even though the Giving Day fundraising event will end on that Thursday. Everything will still live on Escape Pod for the duration of time.
Yeah, it'll be all up there, and we'll probably edit it so you can get little pieces, so it's not a 16-hour mega stream that you got to sift through to find the one thing that you were looking for. Yeah, so that's what's coming up next week. What are we doing today, Todd?
I think today what we're going to try to do is work through banjo birds. I know you had come up with the idea of these two birds, and we've spent some time in harmony kind of playing with them. Now we need to figure out what we're going to do with them. What's this little kind of vignette or little short going to be? Yeah.
All right, so that's what we're doing today for the next 50 minutes. All right, you ready?
I'm so ready. Go ahead and share my screen.
All right, and I'll get everything else set up here. You know what I've really failed on is the music.
Oh,
we had it for like 1 or 2 streams. Then it just went away. All right. You're up, I'm up, our screens are up.
Nice.
We're just missing one thing. All right. Do you want to
Oh yeah.
chat while I fix this?
Can you hear my music, Sean?
I can't.
Oh man. Wow. So I found some really nice live stream music. Some almost Kenny G like.
Oh, I froze you. Hold on. There we go. You're back.
I'm back.
If I've you could still they could still hear you. I can't minimize your screen. Otherwise, you freeze.
Okay.
So no Kenny G.
There was some smooth jazz and NYC coffee shop music, and it sounded like Kenny G maybe. And it was said it was for live stream, but apparently we can't hear it through my audio feed. So I was looking on Spotify to see if there was anything really long that we could play. I think we should just play the Banjo Birds music on a loop.
Oh man, then my wife and kids would be right at home where I practice for like an hour straight.
Soothing sounds of Sean McComer's banjo fingers. So, if we talk a little bit about the concept here,
there we go.
And for those of you, the 2 viewers watching, this is how Sean and I tend to work, which is basically we'll have a generic idea for something, and then we kind of just throw stuff back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and come up with as many ideas as we can, and then figure out kind of what we're going to be doing with that. And I think right now, if I remember right, because we haven't touched this in a while, Sean, is that we had the idea of like a music bar kind of following the bird. Is that right? Like,
yeah. So I was trying to think of things that the original intent was really simple, right? Like all we wanted to do was make some. I just wanted to have a bird. Really, the idea was, how do we get back into Toon Boom? I want to be able to rig something super simple and also show Todd how to do it. So you saw those live streams, and then I was like, well, I want to do a really simple animation. And then I don't remember how the banjo came into it at some point. I don't remember if I said something about it or somebody else said something about it on the live stream. And I was like, oh, maybe I could play a real simple little thing. But then I was like, oh, if he's just like flapping along, that's really boring. So I remember I said, I could do like the little dashes that were coming out the back,
right,
similar to Woodstock. And then you brought up, you're like, well, what if you had the notes coming back out? And I was like, oh, that's great. That's a great idea. So that's how we got onto that. And it was all just we needed something.
Right.
Or I felt like we needed something.
No, I agree. I think it needs. Oh man.
Can you hear some tunes there?
I can hear some tunes.
I'm gonna turn it down just a bit.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh, we got it. Look at us go. Now I will apologize because there's probably going to be an ad or something. So that's what I got in trouble for last time.
Advertisements.
Unfortunately, we're not getting paid for those. So it's just my own unskilled tech knowledge. All right. I'm ready now.
All right. So you had 3 different clips, I know, initially, that I saw that were up on Box, right?
What do you mean 3 clips?
You had 3 banjo clips.
Oh, yeah.
And then each one of those is a different song, is that correct?
Yeah, so one of them is just a practice thing, and I recorded that. The other 2 are actual songs.
Okay.
Let me see if I have them. I don't mind...
Yeah, because I had downloaded them. I have them, but you can't hear my sound.
I don't mind embarrassing myself.
No, they're good.
Man, where did I put those things?
The first time I heard them, I thought I was listening to Jorg Forgensen, who's the famous banjo player.
You thought I was what's his name? Bella Fleck?
All right, yeah, I'm trying to line up so I'm still in camera even though I'm trying to work on Photoshop here.
And just so everybody knows, I'm not a great banjo player. I'm just learning and doing it for fun. All right, I'm searching for those things. All right, I got them. Hopefully they're edited though. I don't remember if I dumped up the edited versions or not.
Well, I think they were edited.
Okay. You know what we do need to talk about?
What?
Though nobody's on here. The only person who's probably on here is Lindsay. There's only three. It's probably me, you, and Lindsay. The contest.
Oh yes, the contest.
Yeah, this isn't edited. It's like 3 minutes long.
Wait a second. What? I've got there were clips on Box that I found in the Banjo Birds folder.
Yeah, that's what I just pulled.
So the ones that I have, hold on a second. Where is it? Let's see. It's called CC, OJC, and WU.
Yep.
So mine's like, let's see, how long is this one? The first one's 3 minutes, but the other ones are not. So one's like 41 seconds, and then the last one, the WU, is like 30 seconds, but it's pretty much just one take.
Yeah. Let me. There you go, something like that. Now, if you're really curious about what song that was, that's called Cripple Creek. You could YouTube that and see what how fast normal people play that, if you were really curious.
So I think, okay, so let's just break this down a little bit, right? So we've got a banjo that you're playing. It looks just like this, right? I'm just thinking through here. But when I think about banjo music, it's not kind of smooth. You know what I mean? It's not like it can be. But what I like about it is it's got like a jumpiness to it. It's got like a twang, right? Like a poppiness to it.
Sure.
So it'd be kind of fun, I think, to play with that in terms of like, and when I look at the bird designs themselves, they don't feel super streamlined. They feel kind of, they're cool. They're like rough a little bit, right?
Yes.
They're simple, but they're not overly refined. So I'm wondering, like, how can we first, like, how would they move, right? And I'm wondering what you think about them moving more poppy. Like, are you thinking about having just a flight of something, just kind of like flying through something? Are they kind of popping and kind of as they're flapping their wings, they're kind of popping around, or?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I was probably going to play with it, but yeah, I would say it probably because it has to fit with that music. It wouldn't just be like a smooth glide. Plus that would be boring. Like I don't want it to be boring.
Yeah, and I think so. I was thinking, like, you know, if you had a you know, if you think about like old don't know what I'm even trying to reference, but like very kind of posed bass, kind of, pop here, pop there. But if it was like, they were making, just different shapes almost as they're flying, and maybe shapes are kind of like a note or something.
Okay.
Or if they pop up, and I noticed on the I don't know which one it was, the WU, it has kind of like an up and down to it.
Yeah, that's the one that I use to practice, and it's called walk-ups.
So
Technically,
I know, but that one has like a different, I don't know if you want to call it like a register or a different like octave kind of thing, but it kicks up and then it comes back down, and it kicks up and it comes back down.
this one feels like if you were like you would have like a walk to it that's like a just this like weird little bounce.
So, and that's kind of what I was. So if I again, and we're just spitballing here, everybody. So, but if you had like even if you had like a simple branch, right? And it's like hop hop and then dun, 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 and then hop hop. Dun, dun, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it feels like if they're on something and they're doing something, and then there's like an in between, and they do something else, and then they kind of go back up, and it's almost like you could take the entire thing then and make like a loop out of it if you wanted to loop the music. I'm not saying to do that, but it's like, but I felt like if it was doing something, it's like, or if it's like, can you play the beginning of that one again?
Yeah. Can you hear it okay?
Yeah, it's a little quiet.
Here, I can. Whoops.
Yeah. Okay, so imagine something like this, right? You start off, and maybe it's even like, again, this is gonna be really bad, but if we have like a tree,
Yeah.
and it's something like this, and there's like a branch, and maybe there's even like a nest or something like that, and then it's like, bum 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 bum, and then it's like it comes down here, and it's like it hits something else, or it,
Mm.
you know what I mean? And I could even see like, again, I don't want to make this more complicated because I know it's supposed to be super simple, but if we had like little worms or something down there, and they're like, dun, 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 you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, it feels like if you've ever ridden on Splash Mountain,
Yeah.
which they're naming and redoing at Disney World, right? And again, I'm not advocating like Song of the South or whatever they play inside of that or whatever it is, but there's a feel to it of like, everything's kind of going with the music, and you've got little things happening here or there, right?
Yeah.
And if you have the song like that, maybe there's a way to pick like little vignettes like that where it starts off here and they go down there. And even if they're just like, what could be funny too is if they have a hat on or something like that, and I don't know. Like again, I don't want to make it more complicated, but if they're making like little stops as they go along about their day, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's good. Let me give me one sec. All right. Sorry, I was gonna cut that. All right. Okay.
It could be kind of fun, like if they were, and again, I think we should do a bunch of different ones of these, not just, one, but, if it's like, if I take a different color here and it's like, dun, dun, and then like, you get that hang sometimes in some of the banjo music where it's
Sure.
got like if like this is like, and it's like, and then it like flips back up, right?
Mhm.
Or something like that. But as it goes off, it's like everything is kind of like timed to the ebbs and outs of the music.
So we would need some of it is probably a little bit. It might be a little bit fast, so we might have to go on like a different, like not like every beat.
Right.
maybe every other beat or something like that. So we'd have to see. What we should do is,
Well, I mean, there's a question too of, do you want to just take the clip as it is, or is it something that we can edit to be like, if it starts a little bit slower and then gets a little bit faster and then a little bit slower, you know what I mean? Like, how
oh,
much?
we can certainly do that. Like I could just change the way I play it. So yeah, well, I'm fine with doing that. What we need to do, I was trying to think. We should just take a ball and just animate
Yeah.
the ball,
Yep.
because that's basically what these characters are. I mean, I know they're not the shape of a ball, but that's
Right.
how they will act. So we could definitely do that. Like I could just take something and just figure out the overall like timing of it, of what we want to hit. That would be easy.
Well, and I think what would be cool about that then is, like, again, if you had something happening down here, right? Or there's like a little, and it can be flat. It doesn't have to have depth to it. It can just be like a flat,
Sure.
whatever. But if there's like, if there was little worms or some little grass or something like that, and they're kind of happy or whatever, right? And then what would be fun is, as it's doing that, you still have it coming down, and then the music's kind of like affecting everybody, it just, and still have that music behind it, like we were talking about. Like, it's just, and I think it'd be kind of cool, kind of positive. If it's just bringing kind of happiness to everybody as it's flying around with the music.
Yeah, what if we did, what if we took one bird for one song? And so let's say you had the tree, and maybe he's learning how to fly,
Right.
right? So he can just be like trying to bounce down he bounces out of the nest, he bounces down the branches up and down, and he's just trying to learn, and by the end he kind of takes off. Then you take another one and he's on the ground and he's learning to, like, you could say he's trying to
Yeah,
get
I
the
see what you're
worms.
Yeah.
And it could be like what is the whack-a-mole? It could be that
Right.
thing, or we could take that away and it could just be he's having fun and these worms are also having fun.
Right.
And then they like meet up at the end. And then if we take the third one that we had, maybe we come up with a little vignette for him, and then
Yep.
by the end they're all together. And then they
Yeah,
could,
I like that.
and then if I ever learn a new song, they could all they could all be together.
No, I like that.
Okay. Yeah, so let's try doing something like that. I am working on a new song, actually. I could record it. I know it well enough that I could record it.
Is it the new Escape Pod theme song?
I wasn't going to say anything, but I did want to use it as the Escape Pod theme song. So
Nice.
it's
Is it
called.
like the Flash Gordon theme song?
I don't know what that one is.
What?
What is the Flash Gordon theme
The
song?
Queen Flash Gordon theme song?
Hold on.
Oh, man. Dude, that's like a classic.
Oh, wow. Am I allowed to play that?
I think you should play it. I think Queen would enjoy it, and I don't think Queen's watching right now.
Oh, hold on, I gotta skip through the ad. That movie doesn't. I've never seen that movie. That doesn't look
Are
good.
you serious?
Never seen it.
Oh my gosh, it's a classic, dude. It's so bizarre and out there and just weird and awesome, hokey, everything you could want.
Clytus, I'm bored. Later, I like to play.
Oh, that's the beginning music. I'm bored.
Oh, okay. I know. Yeah. Okay, I know what it is.
Yeah, there you go. Come on. Dun, 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 dun,
Wow, that is
Flash.
yikes.
Ah, he'll save every one of us. Okay. So back to our stuff.
Yeah,
now.
back-
That's Gordon talk. Getting too excited here on the Escape Pod. All right. So you were saying if we start like in the tree, right?
Jolie's seen the movie. We do have we do have
someone watching there.
we do. It's Jolie.
Awesome. Welcome, Jolie.
Jolie, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Is it Molkeen? Assuming this is the same Jolie, but Molkeen. Oh well. There's a delay, so it might be a little bit before that comes back in. All right.
All right, so okay, let's just go back. So which song do you want to start with?
I don't care. So they're both. So I've got that old Joe Clark, and that's roughly 30 seconds, and I've got the walk-ups. They're both just over 25 seconds, roughly.
What's the old Joe Clark?
Oh, you don't have these memorized?
No.
All right, sorry.
I have to admit, I am not up on my banjo-ness. I deal with a lot of saxophone, clarinet, and oboe in my house.
This one has a, so if you listen to it, sorry, I have that other music going too. It has the beginning is a little bit faster, or there's some faster ones, but then when you get into the second half, you can make those bigger bounces.
What I like about it too is like if you have like if like things are going okay for a second, and then it's got like ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? It's like up and down, but you could have like some really like fluttery things that kind of even out a little bit, like it's getting the hang of it, and then it's like it's sinking down, or it's kind of.
So I'm going to, I think I'm gonna email the guy who like wrote. So the music, the tablature.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've talked to him before. I'm going to ask him, number one, make sure it's okay. I'm sure it's fine because I'm the one playing it. But, and I wonder if he'll be into it at all, like what we're doing.
Yeah, man.
I think he might be.
So I had another thought.
Okay.
While you were talking, if we started off with like, again, just this might be a different take for one of the other ones or something like that. But if you start off with like the tree, right, and you've got the little bird up the top of the tree. And if he grabs even like a leaf with his foot, right? And this might not be like learning to fly or whatever, but if it's like, and he just takes it down and he gives it to like the little insects or something like that, and then they're happy and the caterpillars start eating it.
Mm-hmm.
But they give him something else like a flower. And
Okay.
then he takes that back up and like, puts it some, but it's almost like you could do like, I'm thinking like, I don't really care for the character Mater necessarily, right?
Yeah.
But if I think of just some happy-go-lucky whatever, he's just out and about trying to make people happy, right? And it's almost like he's got that, like these guys are like a little bit, if you look at the expression on them, they're kind of like this.
Yeah.
But if you were to flip that around and they're kind of like, I don't want to make them sad, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like just like a mellow kind of whatever. I don't want to say like what's the word I don't want to say? It's not like they're dumb or anything like that, but it's just really mellowed out, kind of low key, kind of just doing his thing.
Sorry, I'm trying to. It's hard to. I know what you're saying. I'm trying to make that not look angry. You want the. Hold on. I'm gonna end up pulling up an image that probably for the word that you were trying to not use.
Like this. Not really. He looks sickly, but you know what? It's kind of like a half-wid, kind of like a.
Can you see?
Is that a cow?
That's that yak from Zootopia.
Oh, yeah, 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 something like that.
So yeah, you need the
Kind of like this guy. But you know what I mean? It's like you could do something kind of, maybe that's something where it's like it's just trying to be nice and trying to be like,
sure.
which is kind of cool, but
That's tough because you need the top. You need the top of the eyelid.
yeah,
Otherwise, they do look sad or angry.
yeah. And I think it might be hard to do with just a profile.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was just a thought.
But yeah, I mean, we can certainly look at it, see what we can do.
All right, so I'm just gonna write this down. So what were you saying again for the one that you were talking about? So if we did 3 of them, what was the first one you were talking about? Was it the learning to fly? Is that what it was?
Yeah, but we don't have to do that. Let's just say trees. He's in the trees and he's bouncing through the trees.
Okay.
And whether he was seeing other things that are in the tree, and maybe they are like little ants, or it could be a caterpillar
Yep.
or whatever. You've got that, and then there was the one where he's like on the ground, and then you could do the worms, and he doesn't necessarily need to be eating the worms. He could just be they're there dancing. It's dancing. It's like the what is it, Flowers and Trees, the old
Yeah.
Disney thing where they're all just everybody's having a great time until that weird creepy tree comes and steals the lady tree.
Creepy trees.
It's kind of messed up, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else you could do is something like this. I was trying to think of like a single tree,
Yeah.
but what could be pretty and be kind of fun would be if we had so if you have something like this and then there's another tree like next to it,
Yeah.
but almost like the branches are close enough that it's going from one to another, and we could change up like fall colors, things like that back behind it.
Yeah.
And again, just kind of having like different, little thing. Not, I don't want to add too many characters to it because I know what we're trying to do is make this simple so we can just have something. Again, the whole point of this is to learn some more harmony stuff and get some practice before we jump into some bigger things.
I mean, we might as well make it fun.
Right. But if you start up high or something like that, and then it was like, down to here, and then springboarding to here, and then down to here, and then like hop, 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 and then like over to here, and then kind of.
Ready for a moment of? Whenever you need it,
Hold on, we got an ad coming up.
then get ready to enjoy
Oh, we got an ad.
taste of Starbucks
So we need to we need to design a worm. You know what we can do, and not so we don't worry about making it too big, is we can still do our small little tests. I can just do a little like a flap cycle, little flying thing, really really short, and just have them kind of moving around. We could do like when we design the worm. I could just have him like wiggling around up and down, like coming out of the ground or out of a hole, and they're basically pieces of this bigger thing.
That's cool.
That way we don't feel like we're trying to create this right off the bat, creating this really big thing.
Let's see. I don't know why I put a hat on him. But that's kind of the stuff that I was thinking about. Like, not really
Yeah.
even faces on them. They're just kind of
Yeah.
shapes. And they're happy and whatever. I thought if there was like a hat or something on it, like if and you could also play with it where maybe you think that the bird is coming down to get the worm or something like that, but it's actually giving it a lift up to
Yeah.
someplace else, right? And then if it got up there, and then the worm kind of like it's kind of like the hat gets tipped magically,
Yeah.
then just goes back onto the head or kind of something. I don't know what it can do. I know what it could do. Yeah, I don't know. It might be
Sure.
too much, but I think if they're basically just a shape like this, and maybe they're colored a little bit, or we add some like gradient stuff to it, but it's basically just a little.
Yeah. So we should do. We can do one of these for the like a section of the big live stream
Yeah.
where we have, if we have got that worm design, we do like, I can build it because it'll take no time at all. And then if we've got like the just the ground created, and then we could just do a quick little animation of it, like up and down, or just sitting there dancing, just a little cycle.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah, because it could be fun to just have like a. If they're just kind of on a like a simple rock shape or something like that,
Yeah.
and they're kind of up on top of it, or maybe there's a couple of other ones down here, and then maybe if you just have like, I don't know why I was thinking that or something like that, but if I have like a if there was some kind of flower or something, just like one element that's there that's kind of like up above.
Yeah.
But just a really simple little setup like that, and they could just be like sitting there doing whatever and just kind of like.
Okay. Yeah, and then we just need to find that beat that they're dancing along to.
So okay, so let's say they start in a tree, right?
Yep.
So if that guy starts in a tree and is kind of hopping along, I think it would be kind of cool if they started in like a nest or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like a tree nest, and then they're hopping along, and they kind of come out and they're going down. Then they come down, and maybe there's something on the ground, like these worms, or ground worms, or something like that. And then, oh, what would be cool? Again, simple shape. What if then it grabs the flower or something like that, or they give it a flower or something? If it takes that, and then you go up, and there's like a beehive or something with some little simple shapes again, because like the pollen and or nectar or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, maybe that's too much.
We'll just have to just get a feel for, like, again, getting like that bouncing ball to get in there.
Yeah.
Will help us figure out like how fast is all of this, or is it slow? So I think that'll probably be the like most helpful thing.
So if we get, and I agree with that, I think the ball's awesome. Like, I mean, it's pretty much what it is. So
Yeah.
We can just get the timing worked out. So what do we want the end? Like, what's the end of this? What's the resolution, do you think, in terms of like, why is it doing these things? Like, how do we get to a...
Sure. That I don't know. Because originally it was just a quick little thing, right?
Right.
With really no point. And now it's longer, so it kind of has a little bit of a point. And technically, we don't necessarily have to have the bird, the one that's telling the story, right?
Right.
If it's, let's take the worms, right? If it's the worms and you see the worms and they're dancing along and the bird enters, the bird helps the worm do whatever and it delivers it to wherever and then it flies off.
Right.
And then it could just be done. So I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I don't want to make it into like a full story.
No.
I think it's better as just a moment of a cool little thing that's set to the music that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would work.
But I like the banjo music itself makes me think of like kindness or helping or kind of like folksy kind of.
Yeah.
Like that kind of.
So what's a third one? Let's think.
You know, well, and two, like, yeah, to just what I said, just what we were just talking about was, you know, maybe the bird's just making him happy with the music, right? So he's literally just flying by, people appreciating the fact that he's giving them. He's not,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not for something. They're not. He's just doing it, and they appreciate it, right? They're like, this is cool. Because I was thinking too, like, you could have if you just had the bird kind of start from a tree. I'm just working right to left here, but if it starts in like a tree, right, and it comes down and it's kind of flapping down to these guys, and every time it comes down, maybe it acknowledges them, like hello, you know, whatever, and then it takes off and goes up, right?
Yeah.
So then if it goes back up, you know, maybe it goes to something else. What I was thinking could be cool at some point is if it comes up and there's like just like fish heads out of the water and they're like bobbing, or they're kind of, or tails, or you know what I mean, or it says goes by the stream, it goes by the, so basically what you would be doing is having like, you know, if I was to kind of back out on all this, you've got like a tree, and then you've got some of this, and you've got some grass, and then it goes across and maybe there's some water, right, like there, but it's almost like it's just going from point A and it goes down and it's making them all happy, whatever else, and it goes back up and it ends because it gets back into another tree kind of across the, you know, if it's crossing the water, you could have a little island or something in the middle of it, or the fish are on it, or there's the frogs that are kind of sitting on a log or something like that, and they like what's going on. Just really simplistic little characters, and at the end it just ends up, you know, in another tree and just kind of perches. Or
what would be really cool is if you could do one instrument for each bird. So one was a banjo, one was a fiddle, and one was something else. And you could do 3 separate things, and in the end, they're all together, and they're actually all playing together. I can't do that, but...
Well, no, but I was thinking about something like that, too, on the same lines, where initially when I was listening to some of the music, I was like, okay, if you have, like, one bird, and then you have the other bird, and this one's making a couple of notes from the bar, and this one's making the opposite notes from the bar, different ones, and then somehow they end up crossing the streams, right? And that's where like the solid bar, it's like the idea they're all contributing to whatever the song is, right?
Okay.
So it would be kind of cool if we did something like that you start off here, it comes down, it does its thing, and as it comes up, you like fly up to this other tree, and and then the other one just takes off and is playing something else, right? But then it starts to get really long.
Yeah. You could do where you're just starting. You could still keep it separated how we have it, with the bird in the tree, and maybe there are ants, or maybe there's a caterpillar, and they're just doing their thing, right? They're not really doing anything. Maybe they're moving, and it's not until that bird shows up and then they start to kind of dance or kind of bob along to the beat.
Yep.
And you could keep it there, and then the other bird for another one could be along the ground, and all of a sudden then the worms are like coming up out of the holes and they're dancing, and then you have the one on the rock and it could tip its hat, and then the flower starts to bob along with it, and then it takes off and it goes.
Yep.
The bird is gone. And then if you wanted to, you could do the third one, and maybe I think that is a pretty fun idea with the water and the fish, and then you'd have to have like a fourth one where they're all together if you wanted to do that. But
Yeah.
or you don't have to do it, they could just live on their own, like they're all their own separate birds and bobbing along to different songs.
Well, it's kind of like the Country Bear Jamboree,
Yeah,
right? Which I think is kind of cool because you could give each one a little bit of personality,
yeah,
and then the music is kind of their personality, and together they all make this fun little.
yeah,
What would be hilarious is if you had like a whiskey jug.
yeah.
I don't know how to do any of that kind of stuff, but it would be kind of funny if you had something like that, or if we can find an artist who is doing those kinds of things and wants to just team up to make something fun.
Yeah.
That could be another thing too. But I think it would be fun just to pick one of these birds as like the initial banjo bird,
Yeah.
and start with that.
Okay. Which one do you want to do first, and which bird? For some reason, I kept thinking the orange one in the tree and the blue
Yeah.
one on the ground.
I think the orange one in the tree feels a little bit lighter,
Yeah.
and the blue one feels a little bit heavier, like on the ground, could be like flipping over itself and kind of like bounding a little bit better.
Yeah.
The shape just lends itself towards that.
Okay. Perfect.
I think that'd be fun.
All right, live stream people, what do you think? Think those are good ideas?
Oh, do you? Oh, we got 5 now.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know who
I
showed
think-
up.
But I think what's fun about this is what, I mean, if you were in a studio, right? This is what like a story session kind of looks like. It's like you're sitting around literally like this. If you're not making great works of art, you're basically just, it's anything. Whether you're blocking animation or you're working on model stuff, you're just throwing stuff out at it. Like,
Yeah.
can we do this? Can we do that? And that's the fun part to me. It's like even more fun than actually physically making the final idea that you came up with is coming up with those ideas and doing what we just did.
Yeah, definitely. Then it's the hard part. You actually have to do it.
Yeah, well, you want to make sure it's worth doing before you do it.
You're right.
All right, so let's talk about this then. So in terms of like style, in terms of like, because we have the birds, right, and they're pretty simple in terms of their overall look.
Yeah.
What do we want to do with like? We'd have to figure out how to represent like water or represent some other things in this. I mean, because even within simple, there's a complexity to simple,
Right.
right? In terms of that, so I think. Because you had talked about, like, on the birds themselves, we had a bit of a gradient and stuff on there that I thought was kind of fun. When we start having to do backgrounds and things like that and different elements, the other fun, we'll have to have a look for some of that stuff. Not to make it overly complicated, but
Right.
try to figure out what do those shapes look like so it plays nice with all the birds. They're really geometric, so I'm imagining really geometric shapes, like simplistic shapes.
Yes.
Like I was thinking, like for a tree, like if you had a tree branch,
Right.
you could do something like this, where it's squared off at the end. Maybe the leaf is straight on one side. Maybe you have some others that are kind of, but even stuff like that. I don't know, but I think keeping it all fairly geometric in terms of it, and then
Yeah.
and I was
yeah.
doing, it's not that different from the Aloha stuff, really.
Sure.
Because even if you have like the tree and we wanted to put some like texture on it, you could break up things and maybe do some simple shapes to represent some of that, or just do a gradient on it. Again, I don't know how much detail we actually need on any of it.
Yeah.
I think it just needs enough so it doesn't look like it's just completely plain. What is that? There's something under my desk. Oh, it's a privacy screen. I didn't even know we had one of those under there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that would be good. Yeah, we definitely don't want just a plain, like, solid on there. And, with the slightly sketchy lines as well.
Yeah.
So slightly sketchy, a little bit more geometric, and simple.
Yeah, and when I think banjo, I think more like straw,
Yeah.
burlap, kind of materials like something that's got some texture to it, something that's
Handmade.
yeah,
or-
like folksy.
Yes. Yeah, that would be typical.
Okay. Well, I can look into some of those things too and try to find some and just do some like image, some super rough comps and some just kind of inspiration boards of sorts.
Okay.
So we would just before I did. So we're talking about we start with a tree, right?
Uh-huh.
And this first one's going to come out of the tree, right? Or does it stay in the tree.
He could stay in the tree
Okay.
if we wanted.
So he's going to be hopping around in the tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it could be more than one tree. It could just be a canopy if we wanted to.
Yeah,
set
I
up.
think we have many trees kind of leading up, and then it gets to the end, and then so like imagine that this was all trees over here, right?
Yeah.
So the first one, episode 1, goes to about here somewhere,
Yeah.
and then you were saying we pick it back up kind of just down here somewhere, right?
Yep.
With the bounding bird. So 2 is kind of down here on the ground, where we might have the worms on the rock, whatever else. And then would they go? Where do you think that might stop?
What if we did? We showed trees. I mean, we don't necessarily need to see the whole layout, but we had trees. We have the ground, and then we have some water, right? Like right next to the shore or something. And then if you had, so you have all those 3 pieces, and then on the last one, it was more like the 3 birds are together, and then it's like you zoom out and you can see a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then they're all, you can see ants, you can see caterpillars, you can see worms, you can see flowers, and you can see fish.
As long as we pull out and they're all like dancing to the music.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So really what it feels like is we're showing like it's like a funky banjo bog kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like all kind of just groove into the music.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think if we can figure out some designs for the worms or for a frog or for a fish or whatever else, we can just rough out some basic stuff and see what we like,
Yeah.
and then just kind of put it together.
Okay. I think that'd be good.
Simple and straightforward, I think.
Yeah, and I need to work on a couple new songs, so since we only have 3,
Well,
that'll give us a couple of choices.
I think what would be really awesome, we had talked about some of the boxer stuff, but I think if we take this and work it during the live stream as an example of the types of stuff that we're doing, that we're moving towards, things that we like to teach, things that it could be really cool, and we could be putting the visuals together there, designing some characters, doing all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we can set a couple of several of those hour blocks.
Yeah. We could do like part 1, part 2, and we don't have to have like defined like finishing points to them. We're just going to call it block 1, block 2, or whatever we decide to call it. But if we could go in then with the birds, we've already got one rigged as an example, and say this is what we're setting up, and we're going to do some design work and kind of show like, I would love to put together some like lineups of all the different birds, like scale lineups, work with color, all that kind of fun stuff, and we can talk about all of that.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Exciting.
All right, cool. We got a plan.
Like, we do have a plan.
And it's 11 o'clock.
It is 11 o'clock. Time flies, man.
It does. All right. thanks for joining whoever was there, Jolie, and anyone else. We got up to 8, Todd.
We did.
We got all the way up there. Yeah, so again, so we probably won't be posting anything on the channel. We'll be back next Tuesday for our regular live stream, and then we've got the big Wednesday, Thursday stuff. So that's what we'll be preparing for and getting all that ready. So come back, check it out next week. There'll be a lot of stuff going on. Okay? So long.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.